Determination, and where better to make amends, Barry, than at the home of the champions?
Well, it certainly worked for the Leeds Rhinos the last time that Saints played at home. They were beaten by the Rhinos, who really took it to the St Helens side. As Brian mentioned in the studio, you have to go all the way back to 2017, the last time St Helens lost 3 in a row. There's a big job in front of Hull FC to rebuild their confidence, to rebuild the mentality that they set off. They began the pre-season with, they moulded and shaped to the start of the year. They've had a couple of knockbacks, but it's a great place to come and try to rediscover that. Happy St Patrick's Day to you, Bill.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah,
to Kyle.
Yeah,
to Kyle. And to Kyle, of course.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of pressure on both sides here tonight. Very rarely across all sport do title-winning sides lose 3 games in a row, and you know, St Helens were to cop another loss here today. Maybe certainly 1 or 2 eyebrows raised, and Hull FC, of course, they are desperate to make amends for last week. A shocking performance from them. We'll have to see how it all unfolds over the course of this 80 minutes.
There is the birthday boy, Jack Wellsby, 22 today, and hoping to celebrate with victory. Saints in their customary kit, Hull in the white shorts and blue top. And that change, late change for Saints, gives us a chance to see the former Barrow Raiders flyer, T. Ritson, in action for the Saints. His second appearance for the side. Here is Alex Walmsley. Fantastic strike rate. There he is in the foreground in his championship days. The question is, can he convert that in Super League? Here is Matty Lee's sin binned against Lee last time out, cleared to play this week. Old stager Roby. Young gun Lewis Dodd, 21 years of age, puts the kick in, and Tex Hoy his first test, and he passes it comfortably.
Well, Tex Hoy has been exceptional at the beginning of his Hull FC career, and anybody that hasn't watched T. Ritson play is in for a real treat. We won't miss him with that blonde bleach hair. He scored on his debut against Castleford in that match directly after the World Club Challenge. There are points on this right side for St Helens if he can get to him the ball in space.
Here's Danny Houghton, who was on the bench last time out for Hull FC, but Tony Smith deciding to start him tonight, as he did the last game. In actual fact, he'd been on the bench to start at the season, was actually 18th man against the Catalan Dragons. Joe Lovadua, nowhere for him to go. There is Houghton. That looks a line ball. Hoy gets the ball high, and John Bennison is underneath it. It's a good chase from the Hull players.
It's a good solid start from both sides. They look happy and content to just get to the end of the sets, get the kick in. I will say this, that both these sides scored first in the relative matches last week, but for Hull FC, they scored first and then let 56 points in Salford, red hot last week. So it doesn't necessarily follow that the first team on the scoreboard will go on to win this match.
It's a beautiful dropped-off ball there. Curtis Sirridge is working the same people over. Gets a half a quick play the ball for Walmsley now to take over.
Here is Alex Walmsley. Was a bit under the weather last time out, but came through it okay against Lee Leopards. Dodd's kick. Safe into the hands of Davy Litton, the 19-year-old, making his first appearance of the season. And here's the other flank, Adam Swift.
Ex-St Helens player, of course. Spent many years here, Adam Swift. Still got plenty of friends. No friends when you're on the opposite side.
Great carry. Leaving Lomax flat on his back. Can they build on the back of that? Here is Josh Griffin.
This is a beauty, isn't it? Shoulder down right into Lomax and knocks him off his feet.
Clifford, Tex Hoy, the former Newcastle combination there. Savelio and fifth tackle, 30-metre line, Saints half. Fash. Lovadua gets the kick high, too long, and Wellsby is able to deal with that comfortably.
Yeah, it was a poor kick, wasn't it, from Joey Lovadua? Under all sorts of pressure from Morgan Knowles and Matty Lees, and that's the benefit of putting in that extra effort. Don't quite let the halfback decide where he kicks that ball, Bill. And under that pressure, Saints are just able to roll down, tackle 3 now, and they cross over the 40.
Action elsewhere this evening, including at the John Smith Stadium, where Wigan are ahead by 4 points to 2. And Warrington have taken the lead against the Lee Leopards, and Josh Drinkwater with the try after 33 seconds of that game. Here is T. Ritson, born in Thailand. Ritson.
That's a good ball.
Savelio with the tackle on Knowles. And the referee...
incorrect play the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. That you can see what he's trying to do, Morgan Knowles. And as Kyle said, to push up into that next hole, get a nice soft pass off his front rower. You know, you can see where the referee has awarded the penalty, but I think you've got to award good attack. He's through contact, and obviously he's not regathered his feet, and he's been penalised.
He's also got Andre Savelio just giving a little nudge.
The onus is on the guy playing the ball. He's got to regather his feet. I know what you're saying, Bill. I think it's harsh, but it's good signs. Alex Walmsley, I like to see him run with the ball. He's a big, powerful, destructive runner, but he's got delightful hands as well. Lovadua. Oof.
Benison with the tackle on Cam Scott. Here is Andre Savelio, once of St Helens, from 2014 to 2016. He made 42 appearances for the club. So they switch flanks, and here is Griffin. Griffin gets it to Swift, and Swift puts a little kick in. Welsby comes across, and Swift has chased his own kick, and Welsby almost makes a porridge of it. Oh, how did he get away with that?
That's amazing by the young fullback there, under all kinds of pressure, steps out of the way, has the ball knocked out of his hand, and still has enough to get out of the in goal. Great stuff.
Clever play from Swift there, wasn't it? Just realising that there wasn't much else on. The weighted kick was almost perfect, just that last part. Just needed to get a hold of Welsby and trap him in goal and put more pressure onto St Helens. The game at the moment, Baz, it's really set for set. Which team cracks first?
Walmsley playing the ball and getting up afterwards and glaring at Chris Satai. Making some plays, the ball. Saints 4 tackles gone, still deep in their own half here. Here's Matty Lees. Good work from Hull FC. Lees. And Lewis Dodd will try and get some distance on this kick. And does just that. Tex Hoy back deep to claim it inside his own 20. And the Red V are advancing on him, led by Alex Walmsley.
It's a great defensive set from Hull FC. Only 29 metres made before Lewis Dodd put that boot to ball. And the trade-off is you're almost now heading towards the 40-metre line away from your own in goal. And Hull FC will be pretty happy with how they've started so far.
Here is Swift. Josh Griffin captaining Hull this evening. And just over the halfway line as he plays the ball. Here is Brad Fash, Lovadua, Tex Hoy, Cam Scott. Nice step from him. Nice step. He's got David Lickning support. Couldn't quite find his man, but that's good work. That's the 5th tackle. Now then, can they capitalise? Fash fires the pass out to Lingy Sao. Griffin, on it goes to Swift. Swift trying to find a bit of space in the corner and then trying to get the ball back in field, but the options weren't there for him.
It's outstanding work from Hull FC. A beautiful break from Cam Smith over on their right, but the celebrations from Jake Clifford, the number 7. There's a quality end to it, and let's face it, to reach back and get himself near the try line was virtually impossible by Jake Swift, but you can just see the scrum half in the background appreciating the enterprise that his side are playing with at the right time. I think it's Ben Davis just copped a knock there.
Yeah, it was an extraordinary effort from him as well. They were done on numbers. Swift got on the outside of T. Ritson, but Ben Davis just keeps working hard, and even when they were stretched there, just manages to put Swift into touch and denies a certain try for Hull FC.
It's level at the John Smith, 4 points apiece.
This is what they can't afford to do here, Hull. Just giving away cheap penalties, just releasing all that pressure that you've just built over the last couple of minutes. You can see there, it's Liggy Sao. He's about 2 metres offside.
And let's give the big man, Liggy South and Brad Fash, the credit. It was those two players that Tony Smith's side found 15, 20-metre passes that gave Adam Swift a bit of an edge.
We're on the other side, though, Baz. You've got to be more disciplined than that. You can't just expect to come to Saints and let them out with their own end and think that's okay. You've got to be better there.
Lewis Dodds, Curtis Sirenen taking the ball from Morgan Knowles. Now Roby, Lomax, Ben Davis, head bandaged after that knock. Griffin wrestles him to the ground, 10 metres out. Here's Lomax, Knowles, shot ball. And it was a knock on, it rebounded into Walmsley's hand, but great contact. Wow. And the whole players celebrating. Savelio, I think it was.
I think it's Savello. Is it on Morgan Knowles?
No, it's on Matty Lees.
Oh, it's Matty Lees. Well, it could be either or, because those two set the level of physicality, don't they? And Matty Lees is a player that plays right on the line, a player I love watching. But to get one over, as Andre Savelio does then, on that occasion, not just knock him back, but knock him back and make him drop the ball. That's a win for Hull FC.
Yeah, it certainly is. Tony Smith will be very pleased with that. The fact that his players are aiming up a bit this week inside the opening 11 minutes, but I really do like the interplay between the forwards so far that St Helens are doing. And this time it's Saints who give away the penalty.
Yeah, Lomax lifting in the tackle. He's got it wrong.
And you can see he's low down. Lomax hasn't got vision of where the player he's tackled is going. And then when Curtis Sirenen comes in, that's where the mistake is. Yeah. Thankfully, there's nothing else to talk about on that.
So Hull FC rewarded for that good defensive shot by Andre Savelio, then getting the penalty. And they're up on the halfway line.
Well, Adam Swift in shot there, Bill. Terrific start to 2023. 4 tries to his name already. He makes the most metres in this Hull FC side. They'll look to use him an awful lot over the rest of this game.
Grand final winner with Saints back in 2014, Adam Swift. Here is Brad Fash. Blonde hair streaming as he runs onto that ball. Tex Hoy, the full-back, needs an impression on his debut. Got player of the match in the victory over Castleford Tigers. That's 4 tackles gone as Houghton finds Jake Clifford, and Clifford to Swift. Swift puts the brakes on. Ritson gets a hold of him. 10 metres, 5th tackle. Clifford. Crossfield kick. Bennison underneath it. And Bennison does well there because Davy Litton was arriving while Bennison was in the air.
He knows, doesn't he? He knows he's got to put his body on the line to take that catch. Davy Litton is the man penalised. It's a perfect kick. They've got to compete for everything, especially in that aspect of the game. But to get it right, well, that's the advanced part of that kick chase. I will say this about Davy Litton. Our very own John Wells went and spent some time with Hull FC, canvassed the coaches. Who's the player that's going to make the biggest impact in 2023? And they all agree that Davy Litton, it might not be a familiar name to you now, but it will be when he makes his way in the game.
Well, it is a familiar name because his cousin is Jez of Hull KR.
His last name.
He scored a hat-trick against London Broncos last week, in fact, Davy Litton for the reserves. So coming into this game in a bit of form as Tony Smith just makes 1 or 2 changes. Wigan have gone ahead at Huddersfield, 8-4 the scoreline there. Saints making a bit of a mess of that.
Overplay, isn't it? Overplay. They didn't need to do that. Well, when you're on the front foot, it works for you and there's no ramifications if it goes wrong because you're in the right mind space to defend it. There's a little bit of panic when you're off the back of 2 defeats.
Yeah, it was Alex Walmsley. He does the first part right, hits and spins, and then just throws an audacious offload out the back. It wasn't quite needed. There's another one there from Sal this time, but Clifford takes over.
Clifford has taken over and almost taken Hull over the try line, brought down just short. Houghton. Here is Brad Fash. Fash on to Tex Hoy. Hoy wriggling, trying to get away. Saints scrambling defence on their own 10-metre line. Tex Hoy going nowhere. Houghton, here is Lingy Sao again to the fore for Hull FC early on here, but then they lose possession. Jack Brown manages to retrieve it, but they've lost ground there. 4 tackles gone. Here is Fash. Joe Lovadua with a little kick. Benison, and Benison is going to get trapped in goal.
That's great work from Hull FC. You'd like to think that the recognition of Tommy Makinson at marker meant that the kick was on. There was always going to be people in unfamiliar positions, space created, and an excellent chase by Hull FC. Repeat possession, first look at the line for Hull FC.
Well, they've had a couple of sets down here now, haven't they? At the moment, you think it's Hull FC who's on top in this opening part.
Well, if Tony Smith was looking for a response from his side after last week's humiliation at the hands of Salford on their own pitch, he's got it so far in the opening 15 minutes. Here's Jack Brown returning that goal line dropout first of the game for Hull FC. Now then, Chris Satai. Strong start from him to the season. Clifford. Lingy Sao. Sao lobs the ball to Swift. Didn't do him any favours there.
They really fancy this left edge, don't they? There's a number of times they came down here.
Well, the newcomer T. Ritson getting a late call, is being put under pressure. Here is Cam Scott. Forward is the cry from the Saints supporters, but nothing coming from the referee Liam Moore. Lovadua, 4 tackles gone. Here's Fash. That's the 5th tackle. Just inside that Saints 20. Lovadua now. Cervello running over the top of Lewis Dodd, and I think making a bit of impact on Lewis Dodd as well.
He's stayed down, hasn't he? He's just about got to his feet there. It was a nice line by Cervello late on in the tackle count. Thankfully for St Helens, he's okay to carry on, Lewis Dodd. So important to this side. They missed him last year, not too much, because they still ended up getting the goods at the end of the year, but he's an important cog in the machine, and they're all grateful to have him back in 2023.
James Bell playing the ball, the Scottish international. Alex Wormsley, the England international. Quick play the ball from him. Roby. Satai, referee, allow play to continue. Despite the protests of the Saints supporters. Good run from Matty Lees. Roby, bit of momentum here from the Saints. Lomax gets out of trouble. Lees. Morgan Knowles now. Knowles, a little skip, but Cervello not allowing him any more room to roam. And then Dodd on the last hoists the kick. Tex Hoy is underneath it.
Very reliable at the back, isn't he? But St Helens just started to bend the line for Hull FC. It was a big charge from Alex Wormsley. So imposing he is in the middle. Unlike the time before, he got down, he played his ball quick and played it correctly, and they were on the front foot from there.
Matty Lees jumped off the back of that, another 20 metres gain there, so that's the recipe for Saints at the moment. Just played hard and direct and keep working this middle channel. All the hounds through here.
Lovely run. Clifford with the kick ahead, inviting Swift to chase. Ritson will get back there, and it's too strong anyway, almost. Oh, and then Swift goes straight through the advertising hoardings.
I'll tell you what, it was a lovely show and go from the old stage here, and then that kick. Oh wow, we've had a little bit of action while we're watching the replay. It was a good decision to kick, a genuine chase. Unfortunately, didn't get the reward. And then it's Ritson on the floor.
He's so good though, Baz. Ritson's style and his pace and his ability to get in between people. He sometimes catches a few round the head, sorry. But it's a real good skill, a subtle skill of his. He taps it. And as he just sort of ducks into the tackle. He cops one high off Sao. But he wins his side a penalty.
Time is off.
Not sure who Liam Moore's waiting for. He's still, I think, in communication with...
Yeah, they're having a look at it. They want to have a look at the contact.
His fellow match official. Tom Grant is the video ref. Liggy Sow is called out.
What's that, mate? Yeah, mate. Yeah, I appreciate that. Just speak to me. I appreciate he loses height and he's going to floor. It's careless, mate. I just have to be very careful. I appreciate he's losing height.
Liggy Sow just giving a warning. And Liam Moore explaining to James Roby the thinking behind his decision. He was...
I think that's right, but you're looking at me, I'd always back the big fella, unless it's a blatant, you know, a blatant head-high shot.
Yeah, I think that was the right
call.
call.
When a player's
penalty,
falling,
no more.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Move! One, hold, 6 again!
6 to go, says the referee. Set restarts. So Hull compounding the problem after the penalty. Just slowing things down too much for the referee's liking. Lees is driven back 40-metre line. It's the second tackle. Here is Lomax. Curtis Sirinen back in the side, having missed against Lee last week. Saints looking to strike first. Wingfield, off it goes to Lomax. Lomax to Bell. Bell has a Lovadua and Cam Scott on his case. That's the 20-metre line in Hull territory. Here is Lomax. Dodds, Wingfields. Again, good work from Hull's defenders. That's the 5th tackle, keeping the Saints at bay at the moment. What will Dodd come up with here? They're going to run it. No, Lomax is going to put the little kick in, and Tex Hoy is going to try and claim it. The ball is loose and bounces into touch, and that'll be the turnover.
I think Saints knocked this ball on, so it'll be a handover to Hull FC. But you can see, can't you, the game plan for St Helens: work to the middle, go to an edge, hit half-back, go to the other edge, hit the other half-back, back to the middle. Like a metronome, they're very disciplined in their approach. They pull the trigger when it's right. But this is a little bit more familiar if you're a St Helens fan.
Warrington 10, Lee Leopards 4. So the Leopards striking back. Warrington striking early with that 33-second try from Josh Drinkwater. Let's go down to the sidelines, hear from Jenna.
Yeah, thanks very much, Bill. Just speaking to the club doctor at St Helens, Mark Percival, you know, is not playing tonight. In the warm-up, he felt his calf get a little bit tight. It's only precautionary. I mean, the club is saying that it's nothing to be too concerned about, but it is a slight calf injury, if you like.
Thanks, Jenna. Well, Mark Percival does have his injury problems. Has had in the past. Makinson operating in the centres, which is not customary for him. He was only once last season did he take that role.
But it seemed an obvious way to get T. Ritson into the team for me. Obviously, it's changed with Percival's injury. I think it's a mistake if they keep trying to target this right side, left side. Hull having a go at Ritson because he's lightning fast.
Well, he's answered everything so far. 6 again called there. Walmsley winning that. Sheridan, what a find he's been for Saints in his 2nd season now.
They're under a bit of pressure at Hull now. Saints getting these back-to-back sets, and Roby scampering off. Belying his years, 37 years of age, James Roby. Shot off the mark there. Wingfield. Threatening. About 15 metres out of Saints. Here is Welsby. Welsby, the ball for Ben Davis, and Davis rumbling over. Can he get it down? Trying to wrestle his way through, but he is held up.
That's outstanding from Hull FC. You can see in desperation Griffin and Swift, even though he's spinning around Davis, they secure the ball, preventing the young centre from getting it down. Great work, Hull FC.
But still a couple of tackles in the bag for the Saints. Can they capitalise now? Here is Lomax. Lomax floats the ball over the top to Benison, who slides in. Referee has called a forward pass, and Hull are off the hook.
Well, every part of that play was perfect until that final ball from Lomax out wide. Everybody's timing was perfect. Pass selection was on, but the execution of it from Johnny and his standards, he'll know that that's a poor pass from him.
Time off. We're stopping the game because
That's a big let-off for Hull. Meanwhile, referees stop play because I think it's Ben Davies having more treatment. He had that head bandaged earlier on, and the blood streaming down his face.
Just going back on that play, Bill, it was the width of the pass, first from Dodd, then to Wingfield. He double pumps, goes out the back to Lomax. You just get to see the width of Dodd onto Wingfield, the slight pump there, brings Savelio in. That ball from Wellesby to Lomax, beautiful. And the final part there, it just lets Hull FC off, Baz.
They do look like they're looking to lob the ball over the defenders. They've done it a few times on the side of T. Ritson. They've gone over to the other side, and Paul Wellens, Lauren Frezinu, they look like they've worked on something during the week.
Let's lock in then, lads. Don't go early.
Didn't come off then, and Hull survive.
I mean, we've had 24 minutes now, and it's been a real still, mate. We're almost just waiting for one side to open the other one up. Nothing really being given away too much from either two teams.
The first echoes of Old Faithful coming up from away to our right, where the gallant Hull FC supporters are congregated, and hats off to them for making the journey.
No,
It's not an easy one, and it's not going to be an easy one home, and so all credit to them.
Well, that is faithful, showing your commitment to your side, but I think it's a reflection of the opening quarter. The side have thrown some questions at St Helens. They've answered the ones that Saints have shown at them. They've got to maintain that for 80 minutes.
Well, I think Tony Smith comments through the week, when you're a coach, or when you're a player rather, and your coach is questioning you as a group, well, that hurts, Baz. And the reaction that we've seen from Hull FC so far has been very, very pleasing. I've no doubt about that for Tony Smith. For Saints, they're just going to stay with this. They'll be happy to take this game all the way to the 75th, 76th minute, knowing that if they can just pinch it at the end, they know fine well as a group that they've got that in their locker. But that isn't going to help.
Oh, Sirinen has given the ball away, and Swift pouncing on it, and then Lingy Sao picking it up, flicks it back in field, and he didn't need to do that, and Swift turns in frustration because they've been gifted possession and they've gifted it back.
Two forced offloads. First one by Sirinen, with two or three defenders around him. And then this is the last one from Legisau. It was...
Got to keep your composure there. Yeah. You've just got the ball back. That's a hard direct carry from Lees into 4 blue shirts as well. You've just got to keep your composure there. Build some more pressure.
4. Move, Andre! Wait.
Wormsley playing the ball inside his own 40. Is Jack Wellesby. Scott Taylor getting hold of him.
Well, that's the gauge of how strong he is. He's got 2 players around and still can't defensively deal with him or handle him. He's finishing on his terms. And you're going to have to make them kicks more difficult to beat Tex Hoy.
Warrington 16-4 up now against the Lee Leopards at the Hallowell Jones. Close game between Wigan and Huddersfield going on at the John Smiths. Tex Hoy is driven back by the Saints defenders. Hull finding yards hard to come by this set. Here is Brad Fash. And Fash, legs driving. Approaching the half-hour mark. It's been a big effort from Hull early on here. I wonder if fatigue is going to be a factor, whether they're just hitting that point now.
It's whether the fatigue outplays the embarrassment of last week. As Kyle said, you get challenged by your coach, you get booed by your fans. It does something to you, and it motivates you, or it should do anyway.
Hull again, just a bit slipshod with the handling. And it's left to Jake Clifford to hammer a kick downfield. That is a great kick.
7 tackles, though. It's gone
just
way too far, hasn't it?
That's not the bounce that he would have liked.
You've got to wait.
It's going to be 7 tackle set, as you mentioned, Baz.
Right, you okay to go now, mate?
James Rolby now leaving the field.
Surrender! Stand down, 0.
And
0-0.
Sorry, Bill. And
0-0,
Alex Walkley.
28 minutes gone. You probably might not have anticipated that.
No, but the talk in the studio with the lads was about who's got the most to gain, who's got the most to lose. I think we'd say, on reflection and analysing this first 30 minutes or so, the determination on both sides so far has been unbroken.
Is Ignatius Passy, who's on the field. When you're talking about 10th place St Helens against 9th place Hull FC. OK, Saints have only played the 3 games, but it's not where you expect them to be.
No.
That ball has been cast aside by Sirinen, and Saints lucky that Jordan Lane didn't pounce on it. Here is Makinson.
They lost like a 7-a-side team then, didn't they?
They've lost 15 metres or so. It was Josh Griffin, got underneath Curtis Sirinen and drove him back. It was a wild offload thrown. And they're only just about now back to where that offload was thrown now with Passy.
5th tackle. It's Dodd with the kick. It's Tex Hoy underneath it. Solid as a rock.
You're not going to make him drop the ball by just giving it high and hanging and allowing him time and space.
Wigan just ahead at half-time, 8 points to 6 at the John Smiths.
Maybe they need to shorten those kicks up, make him run towards it.
No, I think they'll be happy there, just going set for set. St Helens will be very patient in this game. It won't bother them too much, this scoreline. Most of this game is richly being played right in front of our very eyes in terms of in-field position. Hasn't been too many opportunities anywhere near both sides' try line.
Scott Taylor playing the ball, awarded a testimonial, Taylor, for his services to the game. Well, Griffin getting the ball to Clifford, but Saints reacting to stop any threat from him. Ben Davis with the tackle, 5th, and the ball back with Houghton. Houghton reaches Chris Satai, reaches Tex Hoy, he reaches Cam Scott, who puts a little kick in. David Litton is chasing, and Benison gets back there in the nick of time. Lewis Dodd, I beg your pardon, it was.
Lovadua goes in too late, and it's a 6 again. That's great stuff from Hull FC, led by the big fella Brad Fash. Well, you can say what you want about Hull FC in 2023. The player of the year in 2022 is leading from the front. It was a great kick, wasn't it? And an even better chase here. They keep him up and drive him back over the line.
Litton, Cater, Fash, Houghton all in there. There's only Benison who can carry that ball. They recognise that, tighten up and just go after them. Tony Smith,
good
delighted
work, Brad,
with that.
as well.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I've said it before, I'll say it again. There aren't enough mullets in Super League, and he has the best. Business at the front and party at the back.
And it's not a new... He's been very, very committed to that,
hasn't he,
shall we say.
Yeah, for sure. His 150th career appearance last week in that big loss against Salford. And as Baz said, certainly leading from the front. Taylor now just gets in between Passy and Lussick.
Goal 2, straight out.
Here's Houghton.
No more of them.
Short pass finds Cervello from Tex Hoy, and back to Hoy from Cervello, and lovely ball finds Lovadua, who's held just short of the try line. Joe Lovadua plays the ball. Cervello is going to try it himself. Can he get this down? I reckon he has. Liam Moore has got a good look at it.
No,
he's not got that down.
It's Wellesby, is it? If it's not Wellesby, it's Makinson.
Wellesby as well.
I know.
But what about the strength from Andre Cervello to ride between 3 shirts and almost get that ball down? The full-back player from Wellesby using his left knee.
So Hull putting a bit of pressure on. Clifford loops the ball out to Swift. Swift skips inside to Whitson, but Ben Davis is covering to make the tackle. That's the 5th. Griffin is going to take him on himself, and Griffin will try. Griffin claims the try. Griffin claims the try. But this time the referee, Liam Moore, goes to his video ref counterpart. Tom Grant says no try.
Get the ball to the floor, please, mate.
Tackle 5, on-field call of no try. We're checking grounding, please. So he's in possession of the ball. And we keep going on this angle. Ball is clearly well up at this point, still up. I then lose the ball. Anything else on that, please? This might tell us more. I can't see much of the ball. Can we just roll this angle back, please? So there is a hand underneath that ball, but I'll lose the ball at this point. Keep running through. So I've not got sight of the ball there. There is a hand underneath the ball at this point. So keep playing this through, please. Just roll this one back, please. This is the frame. Keep going, keep going. On-field call of no try. And there is a hand clearly underneath that ball. Thank you, I've made my decision.
Well, I reckon that is a very, very close call, and it's going to go in favour of the Saints. But Josh Griffin was convinced that he'd managed to get the point of the ball down there. Video ref Tom Grant does not agree, and he concurs with Liam Moore.
Look, it's not the prettiest, most inventive, but I'd back him to have a go there. He's a big, strong, powerful player that recognises on the 5th tackle, everybody's thinking about a pass, a kick, and he's had a go.
What about that last-ditch effort there from Ben Davies? It was his right hand, Baz, that denied Josh Griffin that try. And it's those small efforts like that, it's particularly in tight games, that you look back through the week and say that was a huge moment for us if we were going to go on and get the win.
Here's T. Ritson, so Saints surviving there, and Hull are really going toe-to-toe with the champions here. Past the half-hour mark, still 0-0. Saints surviving the scare. Passy plays the ball. Lussick. Welsby. Change of direction from him, then to Passy in the middle of the field. He manages to offload. Back to Welsby. Welsby skips away, gets the ball to Lussick. Lussick brought down. The tackle from Scott Taylor. But Saints rolling forward here. Welsby, little kick from Dodds, and Tex Hoy is perfectly positioned to gather that ball.
We've got a little glimpse, haven't we, of what Jack Welsby has got to offer this game. It doesn't matter what position and what role he has in the team. He'll float, he'll find the ball. He decides it's not on for him on the right, goes back and makes things happen. Exceptional player, Welsby.
Back Johnny, hold.
Here is Davy Litton. Oh, and that stray pass and a knock on, and not where you want to turn the ball over. Oh, this could be costly.
You go back to that try saver from Ben Davies, in the blink of an eye, Jack Welsby makes half a break. And then fast forward 30 seconds and they come up with this error. Josh Griffin there under all sorts of pressure from T. Ritson. You come up with that error 15 metres out, the scrum will be placed here centre field.
Come on then,
and is this the moment where the game opens up for Saints?
There's a little score settled there, because it was actually T. Ritson that Griffin ran at, thinking, I'll just run over the top of this kid. Well, the same player in the blink of an eye has done enough to put him off and make him drop the ball.
Lomax. Here is Makinson. They're about 11 metres out of Saints, looking for the first points of this game.
Quick in these rocks.
Jake Wingfield. Wingfield is tackled. They're about 5 metres away now. Hull back on their own try line. Can they survive here? Can they survive as Dodd finds a way through? They managed to scramble to bring him down. Lussick. Lomax. On it comes to Welsby. Welsby again, change of direction, comes across the field, lobs it wide to Ben Davies. Davies cuts back in field. Great work there in defence from Josh Griffin. 4 tackles gone. Little kick from Welsby. Ricochets, goes backwards, and it's picked up by Matty Lees. And referees wipe the tackle count clean, and they've got more punishment coming their way of Hull FC.
Under all sorts of assault here from Saints.
Here's Lomax now. Lomax short pass and good defence as Makinson came storming onto that ball. Lomax, it'd be remarkable if Hull can survive here as Saints ramp up the pressure. Wingfield plays the ball. He's Lussick. Lussick for Dodd. Dodd on it comes to Welsby. Welsby back into the hands of Curtis Sirinen. Taylor gets to grips with him. 4 tackles gone. Lees. Wingfield fashes there. The whole supporters behind those blue-shirted players urging their side on. 5th tackle. Dodd. Lomax, the ball is batted down, and it's Cam Scott who got a hand to it, but they're going to have to withstand more pressure here now.
Everybody at the back of those sticks is holding their breath, hoping that Hull FC can just keep turning up, and Cam Smith had no option. He put his hand to that ball. They're going to have to defend their own line, but the crowd, the fans are getting back behind their charges.
3 sets in a row for Hull FC. Can they keep Saints out?
Straight in. Heads down, head down, head down. Shot clock off.
So another opportunity for the Saints. Lomax. Here is Welsby. More great work from Griffin. No respecter of reputations. Josh Griffin there. Lussick. Here is Matty Lees. Scott Taylor with the tackle. Inspired defending so far from Hull. Lussick. Here's Welsby once more. Sirinen takes the pass. Gets away from the first defender. It's Jordan Lane who made the tackle. Lussick and Clifford doing well. 4 tackles gone. Saints hammering at the Hull door. Can they hold out here? Half-time approaching. That's the 5th tackle. Wingfield plays the ball. It's with Dodd. Dodd, little kick, and Lomax. Oh, Tex Hoy to the rescue.
More defence for Hull FC.
Yeah, pressure, pressure, pressure. A beautiful weighted kick there from Dodd through the first line of defence, and Tex Hoy puts himself in an unbelievable position to take that.
Well, Kyle, this is like night and day with Hull FC. They were a shambles last week in defence, and here they are on the 4th set, on the bounce, defending their line like their lives depended on it.
And Jake Clifford taking his time. Let's go downstairs. We can hear from, I would imagine, a very proud Gareth Ellis, Hull FC assistant coach, on the first half so far. Don't want to tempt fate. I am tempting fate. Sorry, Gareth. I am tempting fate, because Ben Davies has seized that kick. And the simplest of tries in the end. After all that huffing and puffing.
Hang on a minute, hang on a minute. Has he put it down properly, Bill?
We have no tackle. I have a try. Can you just confirm he does ground the ball, please, Tom?
Can you just go back on that, please? Just get that again, please. So it's clearly in possession. Thank you. I've made my decision.
Nothing wrong with that.
There isn't, but I'll tell you what, I know why he looked at it, because I thought the same thing. He won't be getting a pat on the back from his coach for the effort.
Ben Davies' first try of the season, and ironic that it came in such a simple fashion after they'd been throwing everything at them and then just basically kicked it to him.
You've got to concentrate every second when you play against St Helens, and Ben Davies, well, he gets the first try of the first half with minutes to go, seconds to go, but I can see why the referee went to have a look at it. It was an unusual technique. I'm correcting myself. I said his coach won't thank him for his effort. He will thank him for his effort. He'll correct his technique, Kyle.
Well, he certainly will thank him, because he was a try saver at one end, Baz, and then a try scorer at the next after 4 back-to-back sets. Hull FC did so well to keep them out in all that time, but the more simple part of it all was just to catch the ball.
He's putting it down.
Catch the ball. And then Ben Davies just gets away from Josh Griffin and puts the ball down. The simplest of scores considering everything that was thrown at Hull FC.
They'll be kicking themselves, won't they? Because they've defended so gallantly and then they've gifted the try.
That's what I meant. The most simple part of all that sequence there was to catch the goal line dropout, or let him catch it but not run past him and allow Ben Davies just to scoot away and score with nobody to touch him. Disappointing end for Hull FC.
Makinson missing the conversion, and Hull come off the field thinking, if only.